Hello, everybody. Bob Oxley here. It's time for tips, topics, issues, and positions. And today's topic, we're going to take a look again at the innovation. Let me see. The innovation. What's the name of that, Don Willie?
Atwood Innovation Plaza.
Oh, the Atwood Innovation Plaza. And we got somebody else here that's going to talk a little bit about the Business Resource Center. So as a result of that, we're going to move forward and talk about these things. And I want to introduce two people. One person I've invited back. His name is Don Willie, and he's the executive director for TIE. And I had to look this one up. TIE is, let me see now. Let's see. Technology, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. Is that right? Yeah, let's see.
That's it.
I did my homework on this one. I had better. And then also, on top of that, he didn't have enough to do, so they also put him as the business executive director for the Business Resource Center. And when I invited Don, he said, I've got to have somebody else with me who is now the Business Resource Center Program Coordinator. Whew. And his name is Trevor Clingman. Welcome, Trevor.
Thank you.
To the Tip Show. And we have fun here. Okay, that's the main thing. The idea is that I've received a lot of inquiries about entrepreneurship. What about this Innovation Plaza? And so I said, well, I can talk till I'm blue in the face, but I better get the key guys back. And I invited Trevor to come in for the first time, and Don's back. And so this whole program is going to be talking about what's going on since March 25th of this year. Mr. and Mrs. Atwood donated some funds along with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, $1 million worth. And had a ribbon cutting on March the 25th at the Innovation Plaza. And so the curiosity is now reaching to a point like, where are we now? Where are we going with? And Trevor's going to give us some input as to, from a remote standpoint, what's going on from Dixie State University, because it's not just for our community here at Dixie State. It's for the entire community, inclusive of the 5 counties, I would think, of Southwest Utah. Right. So did I do my homework all right so far?
You did it right.
All right, fantastic. Well, welcome you two.
Thank you.
Okay, I want you to enjoy yourself with this. And really what I want for my listeners here on this TIPS program is to get some information about the operation and to make them feel welcomed, because the resources that you've got there are phenomenal. But I think it's time for us to review that one more time. So I'm going to turn it over to Don right now to start with, just to give us an update. We had the ribbon cutting. I was fortunate enough to be there for that. It was exciting, and had a tour of the Innovation Plaza. So that was on March 25. So what's happened since March 25? Can you give us kind of like, just let it go?
Yeah, we're running faster than we can. I'll tell you that much. We've had such great reception to the opening of the makerspace. And like we talked about last time, this is only one component of Innovation Plaza. The entire vision behind this facility is to provide a gathering place for visionaries, for individuals that have ideas. Anyone in the community can come and leverage the resources. So, it could be someone who's been thinking about some business idea or innovation for the last 2 decades, and they've never done anything about it because they just don't know where to turn. This is the place for them. They can come, they can meet with any of our business advisors or Zach Manueller, who is over our makerspace, and they can actually create a prototype in that space. Wow. I mean, it's just been phenomenal. And when we launched it, we didn't really know what to expect. But it's been nonstop traffic. I mean, if you come in the morning, it's a little slow. So I always recommend to people, come in the morning, because then you can take any piece of equipment you want. But as we hit around 11 o'clock, it becomes so busy, and we've got kids in there that are doing engineering camps, so small, young ages, all the way up to retirees who are they've had an idea for years and years and years, and they've just never known where to turn. And now that we have this resource, they can make that idea come to reality. They can see it actually happen and hold it in their hands. And there's something that's very rewarding about that.
And I've talked to some of the people from the retirement communities, and you look at me like, yeah, I'm old. That's okay.
That's 45.
Thank you. I needed that. I'll pay you later after the show's over. Anyway, that's exactly, they have some great ideas, just chit-chatting with them.
Yeah.
And I said, you ought to take this idea to the Innovation Plaza and find out what you can do.
Yeah.
And see if it's real and see if you can take it to the next step. So can you give us a little bit of a scenario as to, let's say you're sitting there over a cup of coffee, and he said, "I've got an idea. So where can we go? What should we do, or what should that individual do?"
Yeah, let me and like I said, with Innovation Plaza, there's so much more. There's so many great resources that are available. So let's say that someone comes with an idea, and let's say maybe it's a new type of cup, right? Maybe innovative tumbler of some kind that keeps something warm for 3 days. I don't know why you need that, but right? Some new invention. They're like, oh, I have this idea. I've done some research on it, but I want to be able to build something, right? And they've got this unique design with it. And so they can come to our shop. So they can come to the Makerspace, or they can go to the Business Resource Center. It doesn't matter where you enter within Innovation Plaza. As long as you enter, everyone just we all play so well together where we're going to help that individual in every possible way.
So it's a welcoming environment.
Very welcoming.
Okay, fantastic. That's great, you guys.
So they may come into the Makerspace and meet with Zach and say, hey, here's my idea. He can train them on software to actually conceptualize that idea on a computer. And then we can do a 3D print on a 3D printer, or we can cut out materials on our laser cutters. We can etch on material with our laser engravers. We can do electrical circuits if there's any electronic component. We have the capabilities to do that, even down to being able to do branding. So we do high volume printing, wide format printing, vinyl, stickers, brochures, all of that. So when we say that you can come and produce your idea, we're saying you can come and actually make a prototype of it, right? So we don't do high volume manufacturing, right? You can do that with a manufacturer.
But this is the idea. The idea is so that you can really take that idea, move forward from a marketing standpoint. Is it going to be real?
Exactly.
And test it.
Yep. You can prototype it. You can test it out. You can see if it's viable. And then in addition to that, then we pair that individual, that business idea, with a business counselor. And so we'll teach them how to actually go to market. And so not only creating the product, but we'll help you identify your market, identify your customers, design some of your marketing content, helping advise on that, even establishing an LLC, and we do it all for free. This is a community resource and such a valuable resource.
Can you just say that one more time?
It's all free.
It's that 4-letter word that retirees love to hear, and the majority of people... Free.
And students, right? Students love free.
Students, absolutely. Absolutely. This is fantastic. Okay, let's take a step back. Laura and Lindsay come to you and say, I want the Innovation Plaza to become reality. We've talked to him.
Yeah.
And I understand that the chair of the communication or business and communications college went to the Atwoods and said, have I got a deal for you? And the Atwoods kind of like just dropped everything, said, let's go for it. Is that what really happened? Is that what's going on?
I'd say you're about 90% accurate, right?
Amazing.
It really was. And this is something that didn't happen overnight. This obviously took years. And I think, it really stemmed from not knowing what to do with the old East Elementary building. The university purchased it, and they, talked to a few different colleges, said, do you want the space? You want to move your college here? And no one really wanted that, right? Who wants to move into an old elementary school? And so really Dean Wells and Dean Pedersen were the visionaries to say, why don't we turn this into a makerspace, a co-working space, a tech hub? Let's use this building because there's so much potential there, right? And still, I think there were a lot of people that just said, nah, this is too much, right? It'd be too much to renovate, to figure out. It just they don't want to touch it. And so, I appreciate the vision that those two deans had. And in that process, Dean Wells did a lot of research on grants. He's discovered the Economic Development Administration Economic Adjustment Assistance Grant, which is designed just for areas like Southwest Utah, where we do have low wages.
Yes.
We've got a pretty strong economy, but significantly not as strong as a major metropolitan area, and so it helps address some of those gaps in the economy. And through that, he then approached Lindsay, and the infamous story with this is that Dean Wells texted Lindsay Atwood and he said, "Hey, will you be the match for this grant? And over text, he asked him for just about $900,000.
I think that story was relayed at the cutting ceremony, ribbon cutting ceremony on March 25. I mean, the whole audience was splitting a gut out there. So can you imagine it? And I think that Dr. Wells got a little red in the face when the story was being relayed to the audience. Like, I think that what Mr. Atwood said was, he said, you got to have a lot of guts to do this. He gets a hold of me and says, hey, you got $1 million for me.
Yeah.
You know, he said, that takes a lot of guts.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's got to do it, right?
Someone's got to, right? But I think it just adds, I mean, it's a colorful story. It's something that we all laugh and enjoy together. But I think it shows that Dean Wells knew where Lindsay Atwood's heart was and what he wanted to see happen. And that's Lindsay's background. He's a successful businessman and entrepreneur. He has had some tremendous exits. He's been a mentor and advisor to so many students and community members. And so, I mean, really I think that this really exemplifies his life in the building. It gives a place for his legacy to be a part of Dixie State forever. And
the community.
And the community, yeah.
Because all the people that are going to take advantage of this opportunity and are successful in seeing their ideas realized, it's all going to be equated back to the Atwood Innovation Plaza.
I mean, how much more reward could you have
Wow.
from being able to change people's lives, to elevate their economic ability, to help them provide for their families? I mean, you think about the impact that you can have by starting a business. And we all talk, I mean, you hear all the failures of businesses, right? You hear these numbers, 80% of small businesses fail in the first year, 95 by year 3, year 5. I mean, it makes it feel like starting a business is scary, that, you know, you're going to ruin your life by doing it. There's definitely a risk to it. And we're very cautious with how we advise individuals with launching a business. But at the end of the day, if they can create that wealth for their families, if they can provide for their families, for themselves, if they can create jobs in the community here and employ their neighbor down the street who may have just gotten laid off, and he can say, you know what, I've got 2 jobs open right now, come work for me. If we can see that as the opportunity with launching a business, you just realize how much power there is in that legacy that Lindsay has provided.
If I can add to what you just said, because of all the availability of all the resources with people with expertise in their own areas of expertise, what you're doing is you're minimizing the failure.
Yep.
Because most people have a great idea and they think they know, so they pick up the Small Business Administration's little pamphlet and says, okay, and you follow step by step. That's not the same as having other live human beings with expertise in those areas giving you advice and saying that won't work, or my experience is that this will work. That's a real positive spin, isn't it?
You know, it makes such a difference being able really to have someone to talk to. And I always have said that St. George seems to be the land of consultants, where everyone and their brother is a consultant in some form or fashion. And, you know, I think that there's some caution that we need to have with that you really want people who know what they're talking about. And it's nice because I'm a current small business owner. I've owned small businesses in the past. I've seen success. I've seen failure. And so when I sit down to talk with someone, I know what it's like to be on the verge of not being able to make payroll for my employees. I felt that before. I felt the worry, the concern, that gut-wrenching feeling. But I've also seen the highs and the successes that have come through as well. And it's so important to be able to have someone who's been there and done that, who can guide you through it.
I mean, just to have those individuals there, it can bounce ideas off. I think I want to do this. Should I do that?
Yeah.
Just to have some assurances, one way or the other. It's a positive. That's one big aspect. I want to just change gears. There's an individual there, and I've tried to get him on the show, and he refuses to come on the show. You know who I'm going to talk about.
I'll drag him on next time.
Wayne Provost. Can you just? He said it's not me. It's the people with their ideas. That's what's going to make this go. It's not me.
Yeah.
Well, he's been there, done that.
Yes.
And can you talk a little bit, Wayne, if you're listening?
we're coming for you.
This is a setup, buddy. But he's the most, he pushed back on this. He will not, he said, it's not me, it's the Innovation Plaza. It's where the success of the people that have ideas, and he's legitimate. He really thinks that way. So can you give the audience a little bit of feedback on Wayne and what he does for the Innovation Plaza?
Definitely. And I'll say too, Wayne is probably one of the most genuine, concerned individuals that I've ever had the opportunity to work with. And I look up to him. He's just a tremendous example, right? Just as a human being, as a professional. And it's amazing. I mean, he's run companies with thousands of employees. He's guided these companies through exits and mergers. He's helped the smallest company get a patent. And so he's seen really every level. He's a doctor. He was a practicing dentist. I mean, he's kind of that man who's done everything, right? You look at his life and you're like, how did you accomplish so much?
And he's so unassuming.
When
you talk to him, he's just like, it's always like a pushback. Let's talk about you, or let's talk about. I don't want to talk about me.
Yep.
And he's legitimate. I mean, he's to the point where, not that I'm pushy or anything, but the point was, Bob, take a step back.
Yeah.
Let's talk about other things.
Yeah.
So that's legitimate.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's really one of the crucial members of this whole.
This would not be happening if it weren't for him, right? He was really a cornerstone in the creation of Innovation Plaza. From early discussions a couple of years ago between himself and university leaders, he came forward with this vision that, if we're going to build and support entrepreneurs, we also need to make sure that they're protected. And that's a big concern for him, that when someone comes up with an idea, it's theirs, and we should ensure that it's protected. And so his realm and his expertise, in addition to being a mentor and a business advisor and counselor to these companies and individuals, he takes care of the IP. And so he'll research patents, trademarks, copyright. So he'll support any individual that comes in and help them identify if their idea is patentable. Our responsibility is to see if their business idea is of any value, right? If it's viable. But he's looking at it and saying, let's protect this and make sure that your idea is your idea and you get to monetize it and make money off of it. And it's so inspiring to hear individuals that have worked with him. Because I think day to day we see all of these impactful stories, but we also deal with a lot of reports, and numbers are a big thing for us. We report on grants.
Oh yes.
But even just a little while ago, one of his clients, one of all of our clients, right? We collectively work with all these individuals, but one of our clients had mentioned on Facebook that she was in the makerspace using our wide format printer to print decals, and in walks Wayne Provost, who was, as she says, was one of the first people to really believe in her and to encourage her and helped guide her through this process. So this is 2 years ago. Fast forward to today, she's in the makerspace printing high volume of decals that she's never been able to do before on the state-of-the-art equipment. And she says that Wayne comes in, puts his arm around her, and she just said, that's exactly what I needed right now. Because it reminded me, it inspired me the same way he inspired me 2 years ago when I launched this.
Yeah, he's just an amazing individual. Just to add to this, how many patents? 2 years. You're still a kid. You're still new. 2 years. Right? How many patents do we have as of today?
Yeah, so I believe just over 90 filings have occurred, and they're in different stages. Some of them have been granted. Some of them are still being considered, some rejected. So, but 90
it's amazing.
Is unheard of.
That's just an amazing number.
It is. And the last, I believe the last time I looked, the ranking, it puts DSU 13th in the nation for patent filings, which you think of DSU and you think of who the others that we're being compared against, and we're thinking the University of Utah, these massive research institutions.
Right.
And it's because of Wayne Provost.
It's amazing.
That's all him.
I brought that up to him. I think we were at 65 when I talked to him, and he said, "Yeah, we're very fortunate." Yeah. And that's it. He didn't want to go and elaborate on anything.
We'll brag about him.
Yeah. So we're doing it to you, buddy. We're doing it. Okay. What else is going on with Innovation Plaza? I know you've got so much. I know when we did the ribbon cutting, there were still some areas that were going to be activated.
Yeah.
So where are we at with that? Or is everything fully operational now, or are we still
Not yet.
Okay.
Gosh, I wish it was, right?
Okay.
But we're ahead of schedule from what I thought we would be at a year ago. So we're really excited to be in the final stages of renovation for the rest of the facility. We'll probably be opening in September or October is our target date. So ideally, if we can open earlier, we will. We want students as they come back to school to engage and be a part of this. But again, this is the whole community that gets to take part. So the remaining pieces that are under construction right now and will open in the fall are the Miller Incubation Hub. So that is our area designed really to be the heart of Innovation Plaza. It's a place where there are couches, tables, chairs, a small snack area. And so you can come, grab a soft drink, grab a coffee, and just sit back and talk with your friends, with your business partners, bounce ideas off of each other, just a relaxed space to breed innovation and incubate those ideas. That's why we call it the Incubation Hub. And the Miller family donated $500,000, the Rich Miller Family Foundation, $500,000 to help us renovate that space alone.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. So that's where your people from, when that opens up this fall, when they first get there I have an idea, this is the first stop.
Yeah, this is that space for them to just come.
And so what
be a
happens?
part.
They go in there, I have an idea, then all of a sudden somebody comes and starts talking to them and saying, well, what is your idea? And that's where it all starts.
Yep. And
in a relaxed environment.
And I like to say this is the heart of Innovation Plaza because everything really revolves around it, right? We want those ideas being incubated, coming together, these conversations, these collisions is what I call them, collisions of ideas that result in businesses. And so it really is the centerpiece physically of Innovation Plaza too, where just to one wing off of there is the makerspace. Another wing is a private business tenant that we'll have in there. And then the Business Resource Center will also be adjacent to that as well. So in that central location, you can walk 50 or 100 feet in any direction and have all of these resources at your fingertips. It's all right there for you.
That is absolutely fantastic. It's come a long way, hasn't it?
It has. And so that Business Resource Center wing is under construction right now. We're grateful to Zions Bank. So in the fall, we will formally rename it to the Zions Bank Business Resource Center.
Okay.
And so we'll have their name on the building as well as the Miller family and Atwoods. And then we'll also be opening an expansion of the makerspace, which will include a wood shop and a metal shop.
Oh, wow.
So we're investing another $300,000 in that space to build that out to be able to increase the types of manufacturing and prototyping we can do and the materials that we can utilize.
That's fantastic. I just got the high sign. We're going to take a short break here. All right. I'm sure the listeners are excited. All right. But when we get back, we're going to start talking with Trevor over here. Okay. And we're going to find out about this business center. You just mentioned about Zion Bank, and now my ears have cropped up here again. I said, whoa, here we go. So, Trevor, are you ready after this break?
Absolutely.
We got some important messages we want to get across to our listeners, but we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away. Don Willie and Trevor Clingman are going to be here and fill us in with more information. We're going to take a look at this Business Resource Center, what this thing's all about, and we got the coordinator here that's going to explain that for us. So we'll be right back. Don't go away. Bye-bye. Hey, everybody, we're back. It's tips, topics, issues, and positions, and we're going to continue on with our discussion of the Atwood Innovation Plaza, but now we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to go over and take a look at this Business Resource Center. And Don Willie mentioned about Zion Bank just before we took a break, and now we're back. And I'm going to start picking on Trevor over here, Trevor Clingman, who is the program coordinator for the Business Resource Center. So, and it's his first time on TIP, so welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, let me ask you a little bit. Just can you give us just an overview of what are we talking about? We say Business Resource Center. We have a pretty good idea on the Atwood Innovation Plaza, but what is this all about?
The Business Resource Center, kind of sticking with that theme that Don mentioned, was that one-stop shop where people can come and start their businesses, grow their businesses. So really what the Business Resource Center is all about is providing a free service to community members, students who need it, that will help them do exactly that, create an entity, market their idea, their business, really any services, with the exception of a few, that will allow these people to start their businesses and see success with those businesses.
Okay. So let me correct me if I'm wrong here, because I am wrong probably most of the time, aren't I, Don? Okay.
No, not a chance.
But the idea is this. Now, you're the coordinator for the Business Resource Center. So I have an idea, and I'm in Santa Clara, and I put a phone call in and said, because they didn't listen carefully to this program. They call into the Innovation Plaza and say, what do? I got an idea. And so do they turn that over to your group?
Yeah.
Trevor? Okay,
Yeah.
so what happens?
Okay.
Walk us through this.
So typically what happens is they'll go through an onboarding process where we get familiar with them, we do this introduction, and we have this short onboarding form, if you will. And so we get a better feel for where they're at, what stage they're at. If they already have a business, or if this is just conception idea and they want to get it going, really understand, a lot of people might have some expertise in certain areas, some won't. So in addition to understanding what stage they're in, we'll understand what exactly it is they're looking for as far as guidance and help from the Business Resource Center, so we can make the effective use of time for everybody involved to help them start and get going, and make sure we're really hitting those areas that they identified as areas of help.
So they're giving to you verbally over. They don't have to open up a website or open up to fill a form out. They're actually talking to somebody, and you or a member of your staff are sitting there taking all this information down. Is that right?
They can do either. So really there's a variety of ways.
Well, I'm thinking about age groups here. Okay. I mean, I'm a retired. I have some retayees that they're afraid if they touch the keyboard wrong, it's going to blow up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
then I've got the younger ones that they know they just go. They just forward ahead. So I'm just playing devil's advocate with you. Let's go with a I'll be polite. An elderly person in the community has an idea. Okay. They call you and say, Trevor, help me. I have an idea.
Absolutely. So there's a variety of ways to do it. So our website is southernutahbusiness.org. We do have the client intake form there. But if they call me, what I would do is pull this form up myself, and I'd walk it through them. I'd ask them these questions myself, kind of fill this form out and let them know, okay, great, we have all your information. We're going to sit down, we're going to look at it, we're going to understand it, and then we're going to reach out to you when ready to bring you in and get the ball going on all of this. So,
fantastic. Yeah,
we can make it work for them. Okay,
so that's down to the they're in Santa Clara. So what else are we doing? Are we taking this idea? I'm thinking about that that grant that you mentioned, Don. One of the grants, one of many. That came in, that was, I think it was a federal grant that came in. It's something about a university center. And one of the stipulations of that was going to take this idea and put it out to the 5 counties of southwest Utah to get more people involved. Is that part of your charter?
Absolutely.
That's Trevor.
So that,
see, this is great stuff, see?
Yeah, so that EDAUC grant, university grant, that's my responsibility. That's what I will be responsible for. And exactly that 5-county area, the region that you mentioned, we're expanding. In collaboration with Southern Utah, we will now offer full services for that 5-county region. I am directly responsible for rural Washington and Kane County. my counterpart at SUU will be in charge of Iron, Garfield, and Beaver counties.
Okay.
So that's the exciting news. That's what's new. We just got this position going, and we're in full swing servicing all those areas. So
okay, let me just ask you a question. Would you be taking advantage of the DSU Hurricane campus with this, or is this strictly going to go through the Atwood Innovation Plaza? Is this where your office is at? That right?
So that's where my office is, but the whole idea is a traveling business resource center. So
Wow.
So I will go on site. I've spent actually a lot of time in rural Washington and King counties. I hit the ground running, really hit the ground running, and I've spent a lot of time on the road. So yeah, essentially we can come to you.
So you got to get the promotion out there. So
Yeah.
maybe the old tips program here is helping.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, you've already been out and touching base. What's just curious, what's the response been? People are totally unaware of this, I'm sure. Here you are, you're walking in. Have I got a deal for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So again, we talk about that 4-letter word, free. That's always the first question. and when I've been to these new places, I start telling to everybody, this is what we're doing, this is what we're offering. That's always the first question is, how much does it cost? Well, this is free, and I'm coming to you. This is free, and the response has been great, especially when they hear that part. I was lucky enough to participate in a Hilldale familiarization tour. That was awesome. We got to go on a tour with some members of the Governor's Office of Economic Development, Hilldale elected officials, including Mayor Donia Jessup. Really what they did was just get me familiar with the entire area, let me know what's going on, what the plans are, and they're helping me spread the word there to those people who want to start a business. In Kanab, I've spent a lot of time in Kanab and Kane County. Already have several clients out there who are utilizing our services and making the most of them. It's been great. The response has been great.
This is exciting. This just adds credibility to the whole concept, doesn't it? It's exactly what we wanted. We not only wanted the DSU community to have access to this, but now you're in your charter is spreading the news.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting a lot of positive spin on that.
Oh yeah, people are excited.
What happens then if they have a good idea? They don't have to come running over here to the beautiful St. George DSU campus. How do people get started? Is it all paperwork? Do you have a place where they can go and maybe do a Skype or I hate to use this Marco Polo. That's what I use with my grandchildren. Whatever it takes. Is that the way it's going to work? Or I'm thinking about the people in the remote areas that we want to get access to that have shown interest in your program. And so what's the next stage? How do we get them to get access to the experts, number one, and number two, to get this thing moving to the next level?
So really, we've been grateful to have some of those local resources help promote this and put it on and spread the word and let them know that these are when we plan on being out there, kind of some set dates. And, if you're interested, here's all the information. They have probably too many of my business cards out there and our literature out there. But really, the great thing, the website is the big thing for those rural areas as far as getting that initial intake done and getting all of their information so that I can then reach out to them. But what we've done to this point is really work with the local area, the chamber areas, and other organizations like Southwest Tech, for example, out there in Kanab. And they've helped us to spread the word to let people know that this is a resource for them and they're here, they're going to be here, and help us promote it when we know we're going to be out there so that they can actually schedule a consultation and sit down with us there in person too. So a variety of ways. Again, that website is a great way to get to give us all your information, but then we're just trying to spread the word so that people know when we're going to be out there.
Into all levels of expertise.
Yeah.
And what we talked about in the first half hour of the show, the first segment, we talked about how important it was because it's all that 4-letter word, free, number one. Number two is you don't have the expertise, you have the idea. But isn't this wonderful? You have a whole cadre of people with areas of expertise that their focus is to help you be successful and to actually bring about a reality, whether or not this idea can move forward or not, without spinning your wheels and wasting a lot of time and frustration, which we've all gone through at times. This is wonderful, Trevor. Give us some other things that you're doing. What else? What do you see for the future? What do you see as far as growth, and what do you see for your program? What do you want to happen?
Yeah, so that grant has a lot of activities that come along with it. one of the big ones is trainings and seminars. So we anticipate duplicating a lot of the trainings and seminars that we offer here in St. George and taking them to rural Washington and Kane counties and everywhere. So that'll be a big piece, is offering those trainings and seminars, whether it's on branding or advertising, social media, your entity type, and we're going to duplicate those things and bring them over to those rural areas. Another big thing is pipeline programs. We're in the process of mapping some of these out and planning. We're going to bring some very important pipeline programs and implement them in these areas to help bolster some of the key industries that have been identified here in southern Utah's industries that are very important and very big part of our economic impact and our development. So those are the big things right now. We're just bringing those programs over, make them available so that we can feed those industries and help people get into those industries, as well as those trainings and seminars that are going to be we'll still offer that great one-on-one consultation, but at the same time, they can go into this training and this seminar and get great information that way as well.
That's great. So it's a win-win situation for everybody.
So
okay. This whole area is exploding, and ironically, your county, one of your two counties, Washington, is exploding, and you've seen the projections as well as all of us have. So you've got to be very excited, and it's got to be a major challenge for you.
Yeah, excited. I don't think excited does it justice. I don't know. There's another word for it. When Don talks about Innovation Plaza and what it's going to look like and the capabilities, really you get so excited about the potential impact that this entire facility and all the resources in it have, the potential, for this community. And it has been a challenge because of the nature of our service. There's a lot of people who want to utilize them, and that's great. And we have seen, that aspect of it where it's like, I want to help every single person, and we're trying to, and we will, it's just a matter of getting them in. So that's been a challenging with that growth, is a lot of people have these ideas and they want to sit down and talk to somebody about them. So just that aspect of it has been very.
And you give them self-esteem and you give them confidence. What a wonderful thing this whole program is, both of you. Yeah, you can walk on water too, I guess.
I will.
Oh no, I'm just telling you. You got me all excited. I can feel it. So I'm supposed to remove the emotive component as much as possible, right? That's what this show's all about. But you've got me excited again, Don. You did it the first time around too. So I'm going to open it up to you. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about as far as the Innovation Plaza promotion, ideas? Talk to our listeners. What would you like to say?
Yeah.
I'm sure I've missed some great points that I should have brought out.
Well, I'll just say there's the one thing that we get a lot when we meet with individuals is the comment, I've been thinking about this for a long time. And, I just want to share that if you have an idea, one, write them down, right? That's the big thing. If you have an idea, whether, you're at the dinner table and you're thinking, gosh, I can make a new plate work better, or there's so many simple ideas that we think, oh, someone's already done that, right? Someone's already done whether it's a zip tie that has a new rubber coating over it that allows it to stay locked more, just to have a stronger lock on it, to those little balloon filler things that you attach to the end of a hose that already have water balloons on the bottom of it, and it fills up 100 balloons at once, right? It's those kind of things that you think, someone's thought of it, or I don't think there's much market for it. Think about how much whoever invented that is making, right? They're making a lot of money.
A lot.
You walk into Costco, and I feel like that's always the first thing during the summer. You see it's right there, a big pallet of those, and they're selling hundreds of thousands, millions of units every year across the nation. And so don't underestimate yourself. Don't underestimate your idea. Write them down, and then come talk. Let's chat through it. And, we're not here to judge. We're not here to tell you your idea is not good. We'll provide you with market research. We'll show them whether there is a market for it or not. But ultimately, the entrepreneur is the one in charge. They're the ones who make the decision. If they want to move forward with it and we don't see the market potential, we're going to support them. We're going to say, yeah, if you want to do that, then we'll help you as much as we can. But we want to aid them with as much information as they can have to make those decisions. But I mean, just don't wait, right? Don't wait 2 decades to come and share your business idea with someone. Don't wait a year. Just come talk through it, and let's see if there's some market viability for it, and let's have fun, right? It's a really rewarding and empowering experience to see an idea come to fruition.
Yeah, what's the worst that can happen? It's already, the product's already out there. That's the worst that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because all of you experts are sitting there telling him, we're going to analyze this for you, and they come back and think, hey, sorry, it's out there.
Yeah.
However, if we do a little modification this way, maybe there's some potential there.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. Trevor, what would you like to, this is your shot now, okay? Promote your program, or what would you like to talk about or talk to our listeners about? This is so exciting. I know you're just getting underway with this, but what do you want to say to your prospects out there?
Yeah, just kind of feeding off what Don had to say. Really, this entrepreneurial culture, that's what I keep calling it, it's so special, and it's something that I just love it. And like Don's saying, even if it feels like the smallest idea to you, come talk to us, come sit down with us, and even if it is out there, we'll find a way to make it unique to you. We'll find a way to, majority of innovation comes from other innovations, So I just think really encouraging people to use this resource, because I'm now a small business owner. I'm working on the second one, and for the longest time, the thought of, I can't do this. I don't know enough about this. I don't know enough about this area or this aspect scared me, and it kept me from doing it. And,
I can understand.
Yeah, and now here I am, full swing with one and working on the second one. So very similar message. Don't wait and get in it and do it. You can do it. We can help you through the whole process. We'll make it so that it's a lot less scary than you think it is.
Oh, that's fantastic. The whole program itself is just is sitting there ready to explode. I know you've been a lot of successes thus far, but it's only 2 years old.
Yeah.
And so we're just launching. And so to my listeners out there that ask me some specific questions about what are they doing over there and what's that all about, this show is about that, okay? And I think that both of you have said the magic word, don't wait. Don't wait, because your idea could be innovative, and if it's a go and the patent is achieved, it's locked. It's yours. Is it for 7 years now? Is it 7 years on patents? Do you know?
Depends. We're looking at 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
That's a long, long time. Long time. And, of course, the magic 4-letter word is free. Yeah, I keep throwing that out there. So,
not bad.
Yeah. We got a little bit of time. So if I can just talk a little bit about, go back to Wayne, because Wayne's listening, I know. He had something, he had one of those little ideas, since we were talking about little ideas. Mm-hmm. It was something about a cardboard box, some kind of a thing on a cardboard box, like cornflakes or something like that. You want to explain that one, Don?
Yeah.
Or one of his claims to fame?
Yeah, that's the thing that is interesting about innovators is they rarely are out there beating their own drum and telling you the things that they've invented to make your life easier, right? And it's fun because, and Wayne, he hates this, so I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying
me too.
it, right?
I'm going to get the nasty emails.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Yeah. Of all the things that he's had an impact and he's invented, this one is, it's so common, right? So,
well, the reason I'm thinking about it is because both of you have said it could be something so minor you might, and so this is a prime example. This is real life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll mention this too, because I want to make sure he gets, we talk about the stuff that really is life-changing. So Wayne had his hand in patenting the first insulin pump, which I think has revolutionized life for diabetics across the world. I mean, that's a big deal. That to the mechanics of the Bellagio fountains and fountains that you see now across the world. So, I mean, you just kind of see these little hints, but like as in the vein of simple things, I think we've all opened and reclosed some sort of box, right? Whether it's a cereal box, a cornflake box, or, popcorn box, or whatever it may be. We've all opened and reclosed. And how grateful are we to be able to reclose that and put it back on the shelf rather than open it, and then you got this bag of cereal you don't know how to manage. And Wayne, he produced the patent on that, being able to reclose that. So
isn't that amazing?
You think of all the moms and dads out there who are fussing with all these boxes in their cabinets. And thank goodness, I will say personally, with 2 small kids and 2 on the way, thank goodness for the closable box. It saves me money and keeps things organized.
The other thing is, think about this from an entrepreneurial standpoint. You were talking about employment and friends down the street or whatever. To get this patent, and then all of a sudden to get a little company called General Mills or Kellogg's, or say, I like that. We want that for our box. And it becomes a standard in the industry globally. Just a little flap on top of a box.
It's little things, but it has such a big impact. And it's nice to be able to think, it's not just that you created something, but you're changing lives. I mean, you're helping someone put food on their table. And I think that if we look at entrepreneurship in that light, it's about being able to provide for yourself, but you just think too, wow, the opportunity that I'm creating for other families. I think of companies here in Utah. You think of, Trigger Grills or Domo or Qualtrics, any of the big tech ones, Printer Logic here locally, Zonos. I mean, you think of the idea that these individuals, these founders and CEOs had, and then you look at where their company's at today, and they're employing 10, 20, 30, 40, 100, 300 people. And you're making it so that they can provide for their families.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, seeing that happen, Trevor has a few employees himself. I've got employees that we both have the opportunity to support, and it's rewarding to be able to provide jobs in the community for those individuals and to see that change happen.
And which is music to my ears, because St. George is growing, and isn't it great that all these new companies are being formed, are generating jobs, because there's a lot of new people coming into our area. And you guys are the foundation here now, and the people that take advantage of this wonderful Atwood Innovation Plaza and the Business Resource Center. What a wonderful opportunity for everybody locally. I'm going to wind this up in just a moment, but I have one more thing to say. You guys can answer me or not. You both have indicated that you're both entrepreneurs. Do you want to tell me what kind of businesses you have come up with?
Yeah, I think it's always fun to actually know that we're in the trenches as well, right?
Absolutely. That's what I thought. Let's hear these.
So my wife and I own several small businesses. One that folks will be able to read about in the next issue of the Southern Utah Business Magazine is a local Utah gift box that we created. Okay. And so we source products from across the state. And this stemmed from my previous employment where I worked with companies across the state and I helped them expand around the globe. So my charge was to increase exports for the state of Utah, and I did that by helping rural companies identify and tap into those global markets. And so just by virtue of seeing all of these cool products and these small companies that many of them just had no idea how to get their product out to consumers outside of, their farmers market that they went to, we packaged them up in a box, and we offer a variety of boxes, both corporate and subscription style, that we mail out around the United States. We've had some that have gone international as well. So it's rewarding to see if supporting, our goal is we wanted to essentially be a marketing firm for these small companies, but it's become so much more where we're taking their product and we're giving them international exposure.
Small idea exploded. Trevor, you're on. Talk to us about your wonderful business experience here.
Yeah, so I am owner and trainer of Red Desert Baseball. I played college baseball for a few years, and it's a baseball instruction for youth in the local community.
Fantastic.
It's very small, but we do have a few employees, and we're having a lot of fun with it. I love the game, and we love people who love it, and we love to help them.
So there you go. We have 2 entrepreneurs, plus you're promoting and going to help out hundreds of other people, aren't you? You both are wonderful. I want to thank you both for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, and it's just been wonderful. I see this is one of those shows I can sit back and really enjoy instead of the heavy-duty stuff. This is fun.
This is the fun stuff,
It
right?
was. No, I love it because it's helping people, and it's helping people in our area.
Yeah.
And you've got 2 counties you're responsible for of the 5 counties in the area, so that's a big responsibility. You got the fastest growing county in Washington. So, plus here we are at Dixie State University. We're great, aren't we? And we're moving forward, and we're expanding and growing also here on the campus. So we're happy. So Don, Willie, and Trevor Clingman, thank you so much for being here today. This was Tips, ladies and gentlemen, topics, issues, and positions. You can hear this program at 3 o'clock on Friday on KDXI 100.3 FM, or rebroadcast this show on Saturday at 5 p.m. Also, you can take a look at those smiling faces of Don and Trevor on Facebook and Twitter and even Alexis. And I guess we're on with Sirius now. And we got podcasts with Podbean. We got all kinds of things. You could look at them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't have to hook into our broadcast here on the radio. So we're here. This has been the most enjoyable show for me, and it's the first day of summer, so here we go. Long day. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll look forward to having you tune in next Friday. I'm not going to tell you what the topic is. I never do, so it's a big surprise. This is Bob Oxley for Tips, Topics, Issues, and Positions, signing off. Bye-bye.